Good morning everyone, Oktabyte here, and welcome back to Let's Play Factorio between episodes. Well, no, I shouldn't start with that anymore, since we are actually doing block recordings of 1 hour and stuff, so I don't do anything between stuff. So, okay, what's the first thing I do? Well, first I need to fix that energy situation. But to be more precise, I need to fix the issue that we don't produce enough of the solid fuel cubes. That's the first thing today, and probably one of the few things we actually get done. I said I wanted to get more things done this episode than last time, but yeah, this episode could be called Preparations for War, since that's basically what we're doing. In addition to fixing a few other things, minor things like placing some speed modules I forgot, and stuff like that. And now the production rate is increased. Perfect. And of course I had to check the oil levels, since, well, that's tradition now. No, it's actually important that I do that, since, well, we barely get any of these barrels. And if you compare it, we are consuming something like 40 of them each time, and we're only producing 6 at one of those stations, which means we're probably going to need a lot more. So 12 for both means we need about 4 or 5 more of these stations. Oh yeah, we got attacked here as well, which was an issue, and they destroyed a few pipes. So I had to go ahead and add some additional turrets. Once again, my favorite layout, with the lights around it. Offensive lights. No, we don't, it's not necessary, but it's nice to look at. I like this nice look during the night. I have to admit, solar power is a lot easier to increase in size than oil is, but oil is very, very powerful. Especially if you do it with light oil instead of converting that into petroleum gas, since you don't need as much. Oh, by the way, ratios. Yeah, there's this amazing tool. How is it called again? I have to look into my downloads folder. Foreman. Yeah, that's amazing. Sorry for the clicks this time. Yeah, but it's Foreman. It's an amazing tool for Factorio, which allows you to take a look at ratios, how you need something to do. What do I need to get 1 rocket defense per second? Well, you need something like 20k, or 30k, or 50k mining drills with max speed upgrades for iron, same for copper around that. Yeah, it tells you. And that's fancy. Oh, it tells you that you need something like 200,000 units of iron and copper just to build one of these things. Or you can see that you need how much stuff you need for, if you want to balance, for example, one piece of research of red, green, blue, and purple. If you want to, for example, say I want to have 1 research done per second, how much do I need for that? And yeah, and then we got attacked again. I increased the amount of turrets, and we're currently consuming more energy than we are producing. Don't ask me why. That's something that happens during the night. Oh yeah, and I was wondering why these enemies were here. So I tried writing down stuff. I didn't know where they did when they came from. So yeah, and why we're having a lack of energy as well. It's something that only happens during nighttime. So I think the 2 MV that are consumed by the lights are an issue, but that's a bit hard to say. Oh yeah, back to Foreman. That's I think in the 3rd generation. It should, in theory, work with mods as well. So, but yeah. In theory, it should. Yeah, whatever. It's great, and I'm probably going to use it a lot in the 3rd season, since it allows you to do these amazing balancing things. You build this one place where you only ship in iron, copper, and eventually oil and water, but other than that, there is nothing. And then you build the stuff in the correct ratios to get something done, like the research kits. All research kits are produced in the same area, from the input to that stuff. or maybe even only copper ore or something. it's something I have to go through, but it's also some idea. That reminds me, I'm going to create some fancy small mods that change a little thing about Factorio. Basically, the base Factorio is pretty boring in comparison. You have to. Yeah, Factorio is a game about conditions and constraints. Condition is how you want to build your stuff. For example, in this season, I decided to go with trains. Focus everything around trains. And then there's stuff like, how's it called again? Constraints. Constraints are basically stuff you, something like I did with the no solar panel system. You have something that makes the game artificially harder than it should be in the base game. And yeah, I'm going to create some fancy mods around that so that you can go even further than the few basic things you can do. For example, you can decide, what kind of system do I want to use for transport? Do I want to use trains? Do I want to use belts? Do I want to use robots? Do I want to use a combination of everything? That's basically your first playthrough. You combine everything, unless you have watched some Let's Plays, for example. And yeah, so that's basically the basic idea you can have. And then you can say, what kind of base do I want to build? Is it one that is has these huge buses all running throughout the base, or is it small buses running left and right, so that which only covers the core resources? Or do you want to have a perimeter wall around the base? I decided against that. I dislike that, but it's for example highly defensive, but hard to extend. Or do I want to go ahead and do a open system like I did? Or do you want to make one that has these point defense grid all around? So basically, you first plop down all the things you need, the turrets, and we're running out of copper, so I fixed the situation. At least I improved it, which is nice. At some point I'm probably going to get rid of everything there. Okay, back to that. You lay out this grid of defense turrets, like the single pole with the 4 lights around it, something like that, in every so and so many tiles. So you have a nice defensive open system. Or do you want to make a intelligent system, that has some multiple different tiers of defense? So you have an outer wall, you have some middle wall, an interior wall, a very close wall for your energy, and you have the important things like energy in the middle and go outwards from there? Or do you want to build something like you build a perimeter wall and extend it whenever necessary, like I did in the first season? Or do you want to build an outpost-based system? And if you do so, what kinds of outposts do you want to build? There's so much you can do with that if you think about it. Oh, and constraints. I have seen people work with no chests or belts. That's fancy. They use train cargo wagons all over the place. It's very fancy. Or you could say, I don't want to use coal for power. Or you say drought, which means you only use one pump at a time. So you don't have a choice but to go with solar. Or you have to, if you even use the other rule, no solars in combination, you need to make sure that your system runs very efficiently. You need to try to work with the system that only has, for example, half a system of power. Or you could say, one of the mods I would create for that would, for example, change the amount of water you get. Drought mod would, for example, reduce the amount of water spots that you have. It basically spawns a lot less, it's hard to find, and I reduce the pump efficiency. So it's basically something like, hey, let's take something like 25% water reduction. So you need 4 times the amount of pumps to keep a system running. and at the same time you don't have many spots, so you need to be very careful how you plan everything out. And I designed a few of these ideas. It's very fancy. You can do so much stuff in Factorio, but since each playthrough takes a long time, it can take quite a while to get these things done. Well, okay, next let's talk a bit more about what I did actually. So I started building some automation for the science packs because they ran out of multiple times, and I dislike that. And I dislike having to go upstairs to fill them up. So I decided, well, it's finally time to use some logistics robots. For that stuff, it's fine. I dislike it for item transfer. Oh yeah, that's also one of the things. If you decide, well, I only want to go for logistics robots once you have unlocked them, you're going to have so many of issues with energy, since robopods require a lot of energy. And you need multiple ones to keep a huge fleet of robots running, which means you need to worry about how to build that amount of energy, how to create it. And yeah, once again, combine it with anything else, and it's really going to be hard. Or if you're only using transport belts, everything is going to get very clustered. If your main focus is trains, everything is going to get split apart and makes defending harder. If something gets attacked, or you have to use localized robopod production stuff so that you repair everything you have there. A lot of stuff in there, I have to be honest. And then I'm still working on other things as well. Oh, I got so many nice ideas. I started working with Amazon Web Services yesterday. That took a while. Yeah, that's something I'm doing currently. So because, well, I'm interested in web, and if someone tells me, hey, I would like you to create a website for me, then I decide, okay, I can do it. And then they ask, where do I host that? And if I can tell them, hey, with Amazon Web Services, it's doable like this and that, that's a lot better than telling them to, I don't know, some odd hosting services. And it's free for a year, as long as you're not growing too much. And afterwards, I don't know yet. I have to experience that myself, but that will take a while. But it's fancy. You can do so many things with it. And yeah, increasing expertise. Okay, next up, I needed to fill my power suit. I built one, since I said, well, preparing for battle means I need some kind of defense. I need to get rid of these spiders that destroy everything. So yeah, that's the first step. And this time I decided to go with solar panels, since the fusion one is too expensive. We can't build it yet. We need more other stuff. And I decided, well, I want to try it out at least with the solars. The solars are so weak, they don't even do anything. 10 watts during the day and 0 during the night. 70 watts in total if you have 7 of them, and they are really expensive. Or you have one fusion one that has 750 watts. So 75 in the spots for 8. 16? Something like that. Yes, 16. It's 4x4 means 16. 16 spots. Yeah. Once again, I did check some a little bit on the oil, which is actually kind of running low. So we absolutely need to extend up there and increase the transfer rates. Oh yeah, how much oil is needed for a single rocket defense? It's something like 12,000 units. Yeah, quite a lot. Okay, now I started placing the all the batteries in there, since I wanted to have everything run smoothly. It's annoying that you don't have vertical batteries. You only have vertical. You don't have horizontal ones. Why can't you rotate them? I don't know. There were some mods that added those things. It's probably something I'm going to add as well, since I like them. That way, why would you use solar panels if you can use other things as well? Next up, I have to grab some more circuits to make the solar production a bit faster. You need something like 75 of them. Yeah, I don't have the exact values here, and I don't want to click too much around. Something I could do in theory by going into the correct stuff, or I could add it into the video, but I wouldn't remember where, and I would have to note that down, and that's noisy, and yeah. It's something I might do in some season. If I decide to do one like that, I might actually do something like I said. So, hey, let's build. Yeah, when I do these highly efficient stations, I will have a printout of the PNG, so you can see what's necessary. Usually, it's fairly fancy. So we will go down upwards through the tree. You say, hey, I want to have one research kit of every color getting built, and then you build it like that. And yeah, and then you need another station that's going to be the same, or you say, I want them to be imbalanced for the advanced research, where you need a lot more for the higher tiers, for the lower tiers than you for the higher tiers for the infinite research mod. Yeah, stuff like that. And I really need to clean up this mess up here. There are so many leftover things. Wow, defenses. Okay, it's time to attack. Set its preparations for more. Why did I set preparations? Wow, take a look at this combat shotgun shooting speed and damage. It's not that it's maximal, which is, as you probably know, a very bad idea. Yeah, it was a pretty dumb idea, so, well, couldn't change it. Had to rebuild some stuff again. So, and this time I decided, well, first go for lab efficiency, and once that's done, I'm going to go for shotgun shooting speed and damage, since that's basically how we are dealing damage at the moment. And I need 15 more after this episode. I need 15 more artifacts for the piercing shotgun shells. And once we have them, we can take down the enemies, no problem. But at the moment, that's an issue. Wow, so many pieces of steel getting delivered. Yeah. That reminds me, in the original version, the first Let's Play, by the way, had 3 more parts than you had seen. I fixed some stuff, I removed the limit and tried to see how far I could go, if I could finish all research. And basically I got obliterated within 3 episodes, so I didn't actually finish them. And I did decide, no, we didn't actually get anything done. It's basically increasing the pollution to see what the most powerful biters and spitters were. And yeah, they're really powerful stuff. They can nuke you. They deal so absurd amounts of damage. Okay, then I decided, well, it's time to go up and create some defenses. Once again, my defense flower. I really like them. They usually are able to deal with everything. And then there was an issue in the middle of the base, so I decided, well, I need to be there ASAP. And then I dropped down turrets all over the place. And yeah, some stuff got destroyed. They refill my turrets, by the way. But in the end, some stuff got destroyed. And therefore I decided, well, let's plop down a provider chest to make sure that, and drop everything down I need to repair that stuff, so that they will automatically resolve all the issues that were there. In the end, once you have drones, construction robots, it's not that bad anymore. You can easily repair huge issues inside the base, as long as there's coverage by them. And then I made the mistake, I ditched the thing that produced the conveyor belts, which in turn meant that it didn't produce anymore. Then I decided to plop down a few more turrets, just in case any other enemies try to do that again. Then I do my typical light path. It's interesting that how the light is basically perfect with the amount of stuff that's there. Well, I noticed that this isn't going to go that well. They are still too strong, so I decided to go a bit forward with these things. throwing those things down. Yeah, you can see the small flower isn't powerful enough. You need the hugely defensive one. The big ones are necessary. And then I placed some of these down. And the turrets are really good at destroying the base. They shoot a few times and the base is destroyed. Yeah, and then I removed everything since it was no longer necessary. And yeah, repair everything I had that was damaged, since stuff happens whenever you're too slow. Yeah, remove the whole flower as it's no longer necessary. And we're still not having enough defenses. So I needed to extend once again with a aggressive flower. I call them flowers because that's basically what I think of them. And we are one artifact short to build a fusion reactor. As I mentioned, I will still need 15 more at the end of the episode. Yeah, I stole one of these artifacts and ran away, since yeah, the enemies are spitters, so if you're fast enough, they can't get you. And since I don't have the fusion reactor yet, I can't keep the stuff powered all the time. If you take a look at the slow regeneration speed of the shields, to be honest, there isn't any. And you see that it's really, really bad. So this is the last thing I did in this episode. I filled everything up with the correct stuff, with the fusion engine, which I don't know what I was missing. Oh yeah, of course, these things. We build one and take a look at the recharge speed of the shields. So this is it for this episode. See you next time, and bye bye. Yeah, now faster.